Welcome back to our channel, dear friends. I have to tell you, looking at what is coming up for the week of August 3rd through the 7th, I am just beside myself with anticipation. It feels like the whole town of Port Charles is sitting on a powder keg, and somebody is about to strike a match. I have been watching these folks navigate their complicated lives for so long, and it never ceases to amaze me how they manage to tangle up their hearts and their families in such dramatic ways. Grab your favorite cozy blanket and settle in, because I am about to spill the beans on all the shocking revelations and tense encounters heading our way. Heavens to Betsy, we are in for quite a bumpy and emotional ride this week. Let us start with my dear Anna Devane, bless her heart. I just want to reach right through the screen and give that poor woman the biggest hug. She is carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders, and it is absolutely breaking my heart to see her suffer like this in silence. As we know, she has been secretly battling these awful, vivid hallucinations of Peter August. That man was an absolute menace when he was alive, and now he is haunting her every waking moment, poisoning her brilliant mind. In the coming days, the pressure inside Anna's head is going to build to a boiling point, and those dark visions of Peter are going to push her to actively plot against Britt Westbourne. It is so deeply tragic because Anna is usually such a strong, clear-headed woman, but this unresolved trauma is dragging her down a very dark and destructive path. I cannot help but worry sick about what she might actually do to Britt, especially since Anna is clearly not in her right mind. It is like watching a slow-motion train wreck, and I just pray someone realizes how much pain she is in before she does something she will regret for the rest of her life. Speaking of Britt, she is about to find herself in a world of trouble from a completely different direction, and this one involves our beloved Jason Morgan. Now, Jason has always been a man who values loyalty and honesty above all else. It is just baked into his bones. So you can imagine his absolute fury when he discovers that Britt has been keeping a massive, earth-shattering secret from him. It turns out Britt knew all along that the man we all thought was Nathan West was actually the dangerous Cassius Faison in disguise, long before anyone else in Port Charles caught wind of it, and she kept her mouth shut. When Jason finally finds out she hid this from him, the backlash is going to be fierce and unforgiving. I completely understand why Jason would feel so deeply betrayed by this. When you care about someone, you expect them to be straight with you, plain and simple. Britt has always had a fiery defensive nature, and I just know she is going to dig her heels in and try to justify her actions. But Jason's cold, hard disappointment might just break her spirit. It is a harsh reminder that secrets in this town always come to light, and they usually leave a trail of broken trust behind them. Then we have the utterly heartbreaking situation with Ethan Lovett and sweet Lulu Spencer. It seems Ethan is going to be forced to pack up his life and flee town in a desperate hurry, leaving poor Lulu behind to face the music all by herself. My heart just aches for Lulu. She has been through the ringer so many times over the years, and now she is going to be bombarded with endless questions and left to deal with the messy aftermath of whatever trouble Ethan has stirred up this time. It is so incredibly unfair how the people left behind are always the ones who have to clean up the mess. I can just picture Lulu standing there trying to hold her head high while everyone demands answers. She probably does not even have. She is a strong Spencer woman through and through, but even the strongest folks have their breaking point. I just hope she finds a way to navigate this storm without letting it crush her spirit, because she truly deserves some peace and quiet for a change. Let us shift gears and talk about matters of the heart, which are always my absolute favorite to discuss. We have a charity softball tournament coming up, which sounds like it should be a fun, wholesome time for the whole community to gather and laugh. But you know, Port Charles, nothing is ever just simple, innocent fun. At the tournament, Rick Lansing is going to find himself turning green with absolute jealousy. He is going to be watching from the sidelines as Dante Falconeri and Elizabeth Baldwin get awfully close and comfortable with one another. Oh my stars, the look on Rick's face is going to be priceless. Rick has always been such a complicated man, full of deep insecurities and a desperate need to be loved, and seeing Elizabeth bonding with a good, solid man like Dante is going to eat him up inside. I have always had a soft spot for Elizabeth. She is as sweet as pie and deserves someone who treats her like a queen. Dante is a true gentleman, and watching them grow closer warms my heart completely. But Rick's jealousy could very well lead him to do something foolish, as he so often does when his intense emotions get the better of his common sense. Meanwhile, over at General Hospital, that handsome new surgeon, Tristan Roberts, is going to learn a very hard and painful lesson. He came to Port Charles hoping for a fresh start, trying his absolute hardest to leave his messy past squarely in the rearview mirror. But as my grandmother used to say, you can run from your past all you want, but you sure cannot hide from it forever. Tristan's earnest efforts to start over are going to hit a major roadblock when he unexpectedly bumps into some familiar faces from his old life right here in town. These are people he desperately wanted to leave behind, and their sudden appearance is going to shake him to his very core. I always feel a bit of deep sympathy for folks trying to turn over a new leaf, but if Tristan has dark secrets buried away, they are bound to come spilling out into the open. I just wonder how this is going to affect his already tense, fiery dynamic with Britt. If she finds out he is hiding things from her, sparks are going to fly. And I can promise you it will not be the good kind. Let us circle back to Jason Morgan for a moment, because he is facing some truly monumental decisions that could change the entire fabric of Port Charles forever. Jason is deeply wary of the blind trust Sonny Corinthos is placing in Rick Lansing. Sonny, stubborn as a mule, as always, wants Jason and Rick to just shake hands and find a peaceful resolution. But Jason knows better than that. He does not trust Sonny's half-brother any further than he can throw him, and I do not blame him one bit. Rick has a long history of stirring the pot and looking out only for himself. But the biggest shocker of all is that Jason might finally be ready to walk away from the mob entirely. After everything he endured during his terrifying captivity, his priorities have shifted drastically. He wants to focus on his family and find some real peace. I cannot express how happy this makes my heart. Jason has sacrificed his entire life for Sonny's organization, and it is high time he put himself and his loved ones first. It is going to cause a massive rift with Sonny, but sometimes you have to walk through the fire to finally find your freedom. Now, let us talk about the brewing storm between Alexis Davis and Willow Kane. For a while now, Alexis has been playing nice, keeping her true feelings politely under wraps, but that polite act is about to come to a screeching, dramatic halt. Alexis is going to drop the pleasantries and make her absolute disdain for Willow crystal clear, and it is going to cause a whole lot of intense conflict. I have to admit, Willow securing a seat on the hospital board has changed things, and she is rubbing some very powerful people the wrong way. Alexis is a fiercely protective woman, and she does not suffer fools gladly. When she feels someone is overstepping or acting out of turn, she will cut them down to size with her incredibly sharp wit. I am bracing myself for some intense showdowns between these two ladies. Willow might look sweet and gentle on the outside, but she has been pushed to her absolute limits lately, and I do not think she is going to back down easily when Alexis comes for her with claws out. The hostility does not end there for Alexis, unfortunately. She is also going to face a heavy barrage of anger from Drew Kane. Drew has been through so much unimaginable trauma, and his slow, painful recovery has left him feeling vulnerable and highly defensive. Whatever bad blood is boiling between him and Alexis, it is causing a lot of deep pain for the whole family. But here is the part that really tugs at my heartstrings. Young Scout Quartermain is going to step up and try to be the brave peacemaker. Bless her sweet soul, Scout is hoping Alexis can help soothe the terrible tensions, especially when it comes to Danny Morgan. Scout just wants her family whole, and she desperately wants Danny to be a part of her life. It is always so hard on the innocent children when the adults are squabbling and fighting. I just pray that Alexis and Drew can put their stubborn pride aside and look at the bigger picture for the sake of those precious kids who just want to feel safe and loved in their own home. In the midst of all this exhausting personal drama, Alexis and her best friend, Diane Miller, are making some big professional moves. These two brilliant legal eagles are going to hire a brand new associate to join their prestigious law firm. Now, you would think hiring a new lawyer would be a simple, straightforward business transaction, but nothing is ever simple in our town. This new choice of theirs is going to ruffle a whole lot of feathers and create a brand new set of problems for several unsuspecting residents of Port Charles. I can only imagine who they have decided to bring on board. Knowing Diane and Alexis, they probably pick someone sharp, aggressive, and maybe a little controversial to shake things up. I absolutely love watching these two strong, independent women run their business, but they might have just invited a hungry fox right into the hen house. I am sitting on the edge of my seat waiting to see who this new associate is and exactly whose lives they are going to turn completely upside down. Finally, we must talk about our dear mayor, Laura Collins. Laura is packing her bags for a trip to Ireland, but this is far from a relaxing, scenic vacation. The rumors are swirling that this trip is going to put a terrible, heavy strain on her long marriage to Kevin. There are even awful whispers going around that Kevin might actually be cheating on her. Oh, Lord have mercy. I refuse to believe it until I see it with my own two eyes. Kevin and Laura have built such a beautiful, trusting life together, and the very thought of him betraying her just makes my stomach turn in knots. But that is not all. Laura's journey to Ireland is going to hit some massive, unexpected snags, leading to some truly shocking news trickling back to Port Charles. I am so worried for her safety and her tender heart. Whatever dark secret she finds over there in Ireland, it is going to change everything for her family. Well, my friends, that is all the gossip I have for you today. Thank you for spending this wonderful time with me, and I cannot wait to gather with you all again to see how these wild stories unfold.